Alright, hello everyone, welcome to episode 0 of my Aurora 4X Let's Play. For those that don't know, Aurora 4X is a space simulator strategy game written entirely in C#. Actually, up until recently it was written in, I believe, Visual Basic, but earlier this year it was transferred over to C#. It is kind of like Stellaris, kind of like Dwarf Fortress, and then a little bit unique on its own. And it is a space-themed 4X where you will start on your home planet and you will develop new technologies and build ships to spread your empire, start colonies on other planets, mine resources from asteroids and stuff. And eventually you will encounter other aliens and you will either befriend them or murder them, most likely murder them because they will try to murder you. So it's kind of like Stellaris and that, but then there's the whole Dwarf Fortress aspect where obviously you can see the graphics are not exactly cutting edge. This entire thing was written just in using, I believe, databasing and just the most basic of displays, just dots and texts. But unlike either of them, there's an element of on Stellaris, you develop the next engine technology and you just drop it in. All your ships, oh, hey, they go faster. In this, you develop a new engine technology, but then you have to design an engine. And you design your engine, you get to choose everything from how big is it, how fuel efficient is it, am I going to increase the power, decrease the power, exactly what kind of ship am I building this engine for? And you can have a dozen different engines, each for a different style of ship. Your fighters are going to want a very small engine that's incredibly powerful because they need to go fast. But then your heavy freighters are going to want massive engines, but they don't need to go very fast. They just need to get there and preferably do it without wasting a ridiculous amount of fuel. So you're going to have a bunch of different engine designs for different needs, and that's going to be true for everything. You're going to have different weapons for different needs. You're going to have different missiles for different needs. You're going to have different scanners for different needs. Just about everything you can think of, you have to custom design, and it gets frustrating and difficult and micromanaging, and it's absolutely amazing, and it's just so much fun. So that's a little bit about the game. Let's jump into it. We're going to hit new game. We are going to be the YouTube game so that I know not to accidentally delete it or mess with something. Maximum number of systems, I'm going to lower it to 250 just because in all the time I've played this game, I don't think I've ever actually seen all 1,000 systems, and there's no need for it. And all it does is tax your computer unnecessarily by making it keep track of all those systems. Leave all of these things the same. I'm going to lower research speed to, let's say, 65, maybe even 60. Just because I feel like research goes too fast in this game, and I want to get to enjoy my ships before I've already made them obsolete by having entirely new technology. Sometimes you'll design your ships and then you'll set your shipyards to be able to build them, and then by the time that's done, you've already gone 3 technologies past the ship, and now the entire thing's obsolete, and you haven't even built one yet. So I feel like new drive technologies definitely, but also new weapons, new armor, new anything really should be a milestone. It shouldn't be something that happens a dozen times an episode. It should be, I have this ship design, and it's going to be a while before I've made enough progress to really justify an entirely new design. So I'm going to lower that. If it turns out to be too fast or too slow, we can always just adjust it later. All of these settings can be adjusted at any point. Leave that the same, leave that the same. I'm going to lower NPR generation chance by other NPRs to 0, just because I don't want the computer to be spawning other computer players, and then, which spawn more computer players, and you just get this never-ending cycle of computer players spawning and then trying to kill each other on the other side of the galaxy, slowing my game down ridiculously, despite the fact that I can't actually see any of them, nor do I even know about them. They're just there in the background, slowing down the game. Known systems are going to be off because I am tired of going to Alpha Centauri every single game. I want to have new systems. I want to have systems that I've never seen before. I want to have randomly generated systems that honestly don't make a lot of sense because the computer went weird, and RNG sometimes gives you strange and terrifying results. Orbital motion for asteroids is going to be off, just because you get to enough systems with significant asteroid belts, and you've got thousands of asteroids that your computer has to calculate motion for, and it just slows things down again unnecessarily. It's not really integral for the game. I'll leave planets and moons on though, because there's not as many of them, and I feel like it should at least be some level of realistic, where you actually have things moving around the system. So that's all going to be the same. Rockets I'm going to turn off because I've heard that they're a little bit bugged in this version. Rockets are like space orcs, that they don't build ships or do anything. But if you send down, say, a geologist team or an archaeology team to a planet to survey it, sometimes you'll discover space orcs who will start murdering your people, and you will have to send in an actual ground force to provide cover. But I've heard that they're a little bit bugged. They'll be on one planet, and then you'll save your game and you'll reload, and then suddenly they're teleported to a new planet. And I really don't want to have that, a planet that I already determined was safe, and I have my archaeology team, and then I load the game up, and suddenly the orcs have teleported to that planet and are now murdering everyone. So I'm going to turn that off for now. Commander political bonuses are going to be on. I know people have mixed feelings about those, but personally, I've always thought it made sense. In real life, some people get ahead in life not because they're good at what they do, but because they know the right people. Their family is politically connected or rich, or they're good at sucking up to their superiors, and they get promoted to captain or admiral, or even they don't deserve it. And then you have to deal with having an incompetent superior officer kind of screwing everything up, and that is something that you have to deal with in real life. So we're going to have to deal with it in the game. Inexperienced fleet penalties, I'm not a huge fan of, because that means that I have to create dedicated training fleets and send them off to do training missions and practice their formations and practice working together. And while that is how the real world works, and it makes sense, it can be really annoying sometimes when I'm just desperately trying to build more ships and send them off to stop an invasion, and so they're like, well, we would, but we don't know how to do this. But I'll leave it on for now. Civilian shipping lines, civilian harvesters all going to be on, just because when you have a dozen colonies across 3 systems, you don't want to have to micromanage every single thing. Sometimes you just want to call up the private sector and say, I need you to transport 100 mines from Earth to whatever colony, and I don't really care how you do it, just get it done. Starting year, it's going to be the year 1000. I will discuss that a little bit when I get into the RP element of this playthrough. All of this can stay the same. I'm okay with random number of jump points. I'm okay with earth minerals being normal. Maybe bump it up just 120%, just because I'm not sure how the RP element is going to work out at first. Will probably end up slowing us down a little bit, as I have to, obviously the point of this is that it isn't going to be the most efficient playthrough. It's part of the fun of the game is instituting arbitrary restrictions on yourself. Like, hey, you need to spend at least X amount of research labs at all times, I don't know, researching more racial wealth because you promised our citizens quality of life. And while that might not be the most efficient use of my time, it can be fun to limit yourself and be inefficient. But just to make sure it doesn't end up screwing us over, I'm going to give a little bit more minerals than I would normally have on the planet. All right, we're going to create a race now. So to create a race, we're going to be the United Terran Empire. For short, just Terran, because I am super unoriginal and Terra is just Earth. We are not a conventional empire. We're starting off with the discovery of trans-Newtonian elements, which is how humanity has returned to the stars, following the devastating collapse, which I will talk a little bit more about in just a moment. I'm going to leave all of these things the same. I'm not going to mess with any of the atmosphere or gravity or temperature requirements. And as for all the government modifiers, the determination, the diplomacy, those things are all going to be affected by the RP of the game, depending on which party is leading us. If it's the militaristic xenophobe party, and obviously xenophobia is going to go way up in militancy, but trade might go down because we're not focusing on making our economy better. We just want to be prepared for when the aliens inevitably show up. Species human system theme is going to be Galactic Empire, which should be right here. Class themes I'm going to leave as none, because rather than have a overall theme, I'm going to have different themes. So like military ships are going to have one theme, fighters, cargo ships are going to have one theme, and we will actually be discussing those in the Discord. The ruling party might want to vote on a certain theme. Maybe they promise to name the next military vessel class after a certain person, or they want to honor a specific officer by naming a ship class after him, or they made political promises to people to get more votes, which, corruption is a thing. I'm perfectly okay with it happening in the Discord as long as it's roleplay corruption and not real world corruption. So class theme is going to be nothing. Rank theme is going to be Galactic Empire, because that is what we are. We are a Galactic Empire. And for now, I'm just going to set name theme to English, and then I'll be adding in a bunch more to better represent a global alliance. So they'll all be all the other languages that I can find on Earth that are actually on this list. This is all good for now. The only thing is I want to set tech points and build points to 0, because the story so far is that we have literally just discovered trans-Newtonian elements. It does not make sense that we would have ships already built or technologies already unlocked. We have just discovered these things, and that was where we will start the playthrough. Okay, everything looks good. Oh, no, I need to change the flag in the images. So, because we are a united Earth, united Terra, we're going to go with this flag. Image, there should be a halo guy around here somewhere. There you are. We are going to be the soldiers of the Empire. Not necessarily because we're militant, but for RP reasons, as I will be getting to, as I said, in just a minute. Hull and station don't really matter to me so much. They're only ever on the galactic map anyway, which I am almost never using, so I don't really care. I'm just going to hit create race, and that will start the game. Alright, here is our solar system. Alright, I'm going to quickly save the game before something goes horribly wrong. And now let's talk a little bit about the Discord and roleplay that I've been mentioning. So, as I said earlier, this playthrough is going to be a roleplay playthrough, which means that instead of me just playing the game and trying to win and being super efficient and doing all the right steps, instead we're going to have a Discord where people will create political parties like the Militarist Party or the Xenophile Party or the We Want a Lot of Research Party, or things that are more complicated than just those pure ideals. And so we will have those parties, and everyone will vote on which party has the best pitch, which party they think is best capable of leading the Empire. And they'll determine things like, should I try to explore other systems first, or should we instead focus on colonizing the Sol system? Instead of should I build more military ships and prepare for war in the inevitable discovery of aliens, or should I devote those resources towards bettering the lives of our citizens by increasing wealth and founding new colonies and spreading humanity to the stars? What kind of things should I be researching? Should the Empire focus more on military technologies, better weapons, better shields, better armor? Or are we more concerned with things like better engines, fuel efficiency? We have to save money, we have to save fuel. And, economy, production, our mining, our shipbuilding. What kind of things are we going to be researching? Stuff like that. So all the members of the Discord will be able to create parties and vote for their favorite party, and whichever party is in the lead during an episode, whichever party has won the most recent election, it will be their policies that determine how I play, what kind of style will I be using. They will also get to do stuff like, as I said earlier, maybe name some ship classes or prioritize one colony over the other, grant favors if someone has something they need, and hopefully it'll just create an awesome community where we can all have fun and influence the game together. Because frankly, most of the fun of this game is the story that you create. It's if you just want a space strategy game, go play Stellaris. If you just want to create a colony, there's other games for that. The lure of this game is the story that you can create, and the best way to do that is with other people. So hopefully that is what we will be doing. As I said earlier, I will leave a link to the Discord in the description below, and we'll see what comes of it. I've never done this before, specifically the RP Discord, so there will likely be a learning curve, but hopefully everyone enjoys it and everyone will have fun. So let me know what you think of the idea below. If this sounds like something you'd like to follow, come join us in the Discord, take part, create your parties, or if there's already a party that matches what you want, go ahead and join them, vote for them, become a member of the party. And also, just, if you think I'm doing something that should be done differently, let me know. Maybe you just want to yell at me because I totally didn't see that planet there has all the resources I could ever need, and it's like, why had you blind buffoon, go mine that planet, go colonize it, and I've just completely missed it because I'm oblivious like that. Or maybe you want to tell me that you're enjoying the series and I'm doing an awesome job. You never know. I prefer the latter more than the former, to be honest, but you never know what happens. So if this seems like something you're interested in, stop on by, let's have some fun, and hopefully this will be a great series that will go for a long time.